Queen became very emotional on a recent official visit. What really did upset our glorious monarch. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to see you today. Hope you're all keeping well, fine and dandy. Lovely to see all those brand new subscribers, and thank you also for your kind comments about some of the recent videos and memories. Yeah, I didn't realise so many people remembered the Bowery Boys. Also, you know, while I'm just thinking about that, do you remember, this was in sort of reruns I remember as a kid growing up, Casey Jones, do you remember him? Casey Jones, I remember that. He sort of ran a railway, didn't he, and was always driving it up and down. And I thought that was fabulous. I loved Casey Jones. I liked the hat that he had on, and I think I must have nagged my mum and dad to try and get me a hat like that. I don't know if they ever did, but I became obsessed with trains, trams and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it all started way back with Casey Jones. Who knows? This particular breaking news, though, will cheer you up in some respects, but also it's rather sad, as we now know, because our recent visit by a glorious monarch of 70 years, Queen Elizabeth, was at a private hospice, a charitable hospice, I must point out, near Windsor, and she went along there with, of course, the ever brilliant Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, hardest working royal going. Though, if you were the person having to say to Princess Anne, oh, it's a bit hot, shall we pull out? No, carry on. And so she did. She went along with her mother, the Queen, to the hospice, and the Queen was in marvellous form as ever. I thought she looked brilliant, looked radiant, and was great with, of course, the people in there who are going through a difficult time. You know, there's no way of describing it. It's very difficult, isn't it? So our hearts and good wishes go out to them, as did our wonderful monarch. She cheered them up no end. But according to a very good source, the monarch became rather emotional and the car back, because of course, you know, it's always these things, the after effects that hit people, isn't it, you know? And for her, she has to remain stoic. A lot of people say, you know, the Queen is an unemotional person. Not the case, apparently, very emotional at all. You know, does get rather upset, but she believes that there's a time and a place, and it's not the right time, particularly, as I was told, with what those terrible situations the other people are going through. Not just them, but their families, as we told you before. I also thought it was really sweet and nice that Princess Anne remained behind to chat even longer with all the people there. I know they were absolutely thrilled by that. So, you know, let's send them all our wonderful good wishes, and of course, as ever, the very best to our brilliant monarch. Also, just a quick mention to Camilla. She was the guest editor of the brilliant magazine Country Life. Guess what? She's a bestseller. Now, I don't know if you picked up the copy or seen it, but of course the pictures were taken for her by the brilliant Duchess of Cambridge. Brilliant photographer. I know I've said it before, but she really is. If you look at the detail, very good, you know. And what I liked about this, I think this is really sweet, in fact. She didn't really want any airbrushing or anything like that. You know, the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, basically said, you know, just get lots of light. Don't bother about all of that, you know, because she knows, you know, that people can take pictures up close when she's doing walkabouts. What's the point, as she pointed out, in giving them a false image? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? So Catherine, of course, caught her in the very best light, looking at her absolute splendid. And as I say, now turned into a very big bestseller for Country Life magazine. More importantly, we're not quite sure, because the final figures aren't in, of course, yet. We won't know until the beginning part of next month. But will she have beaten the Royal Edition, guest edited by Prince Charles? That was Camilla's friendly goal, shall we say. I'm sure she meant it seriously, though. But Camilla hopes to outstrip Prince Charles in the sales of her version of Country Life. As ever, I'll keep you posted. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.